How's it going, everyone? I am back with another video. This is going to be my Patriots Week 8 recap video. Going to go through the game the Patriots had this past week against the Browns, break down my key takeaways from the game, my interpretations, go over all the stats, all that good stuff. So, diving straight in here. So, in general, I thought it was a good overall win. It was a bit concerning right at the start of the game. Per usual, our defense allows the Browns to, well, not necessarily the Browns, but most opponents every week to go right down the field and put up points, some type of points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown on the board. And the Browns' offense is abysmal. So I was hoping we could not allow that this game, but that wasn't the case. They went right down the field and scored. And what hurt was, I believe we were about to force a 3-and-out their first couple plays of the game. I think it was 3rd and 11, and they just ran like a pick play on a basic crossing route, and they got a first down off of it. And then they eventually scored a wide open touchdown. And right off the bat, I'm like, yeah, all right, well, the Browns defense is going to play solid. Our first drive, we actually were pretty good. We moved the ball right down the field, but we stalled out, had to settle for a field goal. Myles Garrett got one of his 5 sacks in this game, which is absolutely insane. And this game alone is going to up his stats for the Defensive Player of the Year argument. And then we got 2 other field goals in the first half. Browns defense was causing some issues. May hit a bad pick. The first half of the game, May, just strictly from a stat line perspective, was not playing too good, but he ended up playing a perfect second half. He had a perfect passer rate in the second half, 158.3, and he only had 6 incompletions. He did have that ugly pick, but he had 3 touchdowns, nearly 300 yards against the top overall defense in the league statistically. So there's some arguments out there. Well, Drake May's been playing great, but look at the competition he's been up against. Yes, we played a lot of bad teams, but specifically the Browns defense is legit. And we've seen that this season, and Drake May still lit them up. And a lot of it came in the second half. We scored 3 straight touchdowns, and we also got a safety, too. Henderson had a very unfortunate fumble, but we got a safety out of it. Gabriel had a horrible intentional grounding. That was bad. And then they ended up getting an onside kick. That's a negative from this game. So I guess the 2 negatives I'm taking away from this game are the slow start, yet again, per usual. I think we've only allowed we have not allowed teams to put up points in the opening drive only twice. And the Bills were probably going to if they didn't get too cute, but they fumbled it on a trick play, not a trick play, but kind of a too cute plays in motion, trying to hand off in a jet sweep, I think is what it was, if I remember right. And the Dolphins. Besides that, every team has put up at least a field goal on their opening drive against our defense. The good news is our defense plays very, very well after that, but we got to avoid the slow starts here. But anyway, my negatives are a slow start. The special teams unit was absolutely horrible for us in this game. Behringer had a 15-yard punt. That was awful. That led to the Browns' only other touchdown of the game after their first touchdown on their first drive. They allowed an onside kick recovery. Just not a good day for the special teams. Weren't blocking too well. Weren't doing too good in the special teams. Jeremy Sprinter's a really good special teams coach, so I'm sure he'll get that cleaned up. Not too worried there. Thankfully, it was against a bad Browns team, and we pretty much had the game in hand already when they got the onside, so it didn't matter too much as far as the result. What else in this game? Yeah, I was very impressed with. I thought it was going to be an ugly field goal. Maybe we'll get a touchdown or two type of game, and we'll like win. I don't know, like 26-7, 26-13, something like that. Well, sort of close, I guess, score wise, but we did even more better. We did more than I thought we would offensively in the second half. We moved the ball well. Very impressed with the second half performance. Henderson, again, he had that unfortunate fumble I mentioned, but besides that, he finally got going a bit, didn't play too much, finally incorporated some outside runs rather than inside runs. So that was good to see. As I mentioned, the defense adjusted well after the Browns' first drive. They did nothing pretty much outside that touchdown they got by basically default from the field position off the shanked punt that went 15 yards. What else? What else? What else? Just a thought for the Browns here. Gabriel is obviously not the answer. And I know the Browns' offensive coaching, I don't think is very good. They don't have too many weapons. They're they're not a very good offense, obviously. I mean, we just saw Flacco, and obviously it helps, and he has Chase and Higgins as his two receivers. But we saw Flacco looked abysmal on the. He looked like a 40-year-old quarterback on the Browns, and then he goes to Cincinnati, and he's looked phenomenal in his playing time there. So that shows you the Browns situation. Now, Dylan Gabriel, like I said, I don't think he's the answer. And at this point, what do you have to lose? I know technically you only have 6 losses 8 weeks into the season, so technically you can say that you're still fighting for the playoff push, but I don't think anyone in their right mind thinks the Browns have a chance at the playoffs because of how bad their offense is. So at this point, why not start Shador? Like, seriously, it's only a matter of time, but why not start Shador? I mean, Dylan Gabriel obviously is not the answer. He's looked decent in parts, but if the Browns are down to a point where they need to pass to win the game, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to get that done, at least right now. So why not put Sanders in the game? What do you have to lose? Getting into the stats here, Gabriel, like I said, if you're just looking at his stat line here, it looks like he didn't play too bad, but I would say it's a bit misleading. I would say he played a bit worse than his stat line suggested. The second touchdown, as I mentioned, basically came by default because of the shanked punt. Otherwise than that, he didn't really move the ball too well. One of the picks he had, Hawkins made a ridiculous catch. Glad to see he's playing well. I was a bit iffy on us releasing Peppers before the year, but Hawkins has stepped up. He's played pretty well in his place. The Browns didn't really get anything going in the run game. Our run defense is good. The 31-yard rush here was off of a jet sweep play. Harold Fannin Jr., he is actually having a pretty under-the-radar season, one of the bright spots of the Browns season. Him and Judkins are definitely the bright spots of the Browns offense this season. He caught their touchdown. Njoku caught the other one, 2 touchdowns on National Tight Ends Day for the 2 tight ends. And then besides that, they didn't really get too much involved. Judy, 0 receptions. He's been a mess this season. Myles Garrett, Jesus, can't say his name. Myles Garrett, there we go. As I mentioned, was certainly not the problem. Had 6 tackles, 5 sacks. Their defense played well in the first half, didn't play too well in the second half. May, as I mentioned, was phenomenal for the most part outside of that pick. Again, Henderson had a good game, had that unfortunate fumble. May had some nice scrambles per usual. Stevenson didn't have too much going for him this game. Terrell Jennings, who we keep elevating from the practice squad, only got in garbage time. Then the receivers, Matt Collins had a good day. He hasn't done too much this season, but he had a good game. Hit a big third down catch against the Saints 2 weeks ago. Booty, another touchdown catch for him, another deep bomb. May to Booty's been absolutely insane, that connection this season. People are joking it's like Brady to Moss. Obviously, we're just joking around, but it's nowhere near that caliber. But it looks like it just from when the pass is in the air and it's caught for a touchdown. Damari Douglas, he had a big catch in the first half. Hooper had 2 catches. Then Diggs, he had a quiet game for the most part, at least from a receiving perspective, but he did get his first touchdown as a Patriot. That was good to see. Hunter Henry, quiet day for him. I thought he might have a big game in this one, but he did get a touchdown. Yeah, I feel like there's something else. Anyway, going to the team stats here. I think they're pretty telling of how the game went. We outplayed the Browns by the margin that a score of this caliber typically indicates. Neither team was too good on third down. Browns defense, again, played a solid game, especially in the first half. not in the second half, but in the first half they did. Yeah, 6 sacks allowed. Obviously, that's not ideal. Myles Garrett had 5 of them. Penalties, again, I think it's just norm at this point. Where I'm just going to say every week we need to get those cleaned up. And yeah, we won the time possession battle by about 13 minutes. We each had 2 turnovers though. Um, but yeah, what else in this game? What else in this game? Um, hmm. Oh yeah, it's just scrolling down it. Borregales has been pretty good ever since he missed 2 extra points against the Dolphins week 2. I don't think he's missed a kick since then. He also missed a field goal against the Raiders week 1. He's been perfect since then. So that's good to see. Meanwhile, Parker Romo, he's missed a few kicks at the Falcons. So I thought we might be better off keeping Romo over Borregales, but certainly doesn't look like the case so far. So that's good for us. But yeah, we're 6-2, 5 games or 5 wins in a row. Happy where we're at, obviously. We play the Falcons this week. I think we should be able to win that game, especially at home. Except that what makes me nervous is the Falcons look like the worst team in NFL history, like they did last week. And then the next week they'll look like the greatest team in NFL history. So what version of the Falcons are we going to get? But I'm pretty confident we'll be able to win. It might very well could be a close game. Hopefully you can win comfortably though, but like 10-13, somewhere in that range. Obviously, the more the better. But it's honestly win the game. That's all I care about. So yeah, 5 game win streak. We're 6-2. My 11-6 predictions looking good. And really, the only games I'm concerned about on the rest of our schedule are the Bills game and the second Bills game and the Ravens game. So it looks like the Ravens are starting to figure some things out. They might be heating up. They're getting Lamar back tonight against the Dolphins, the Thursday night game. So that could be a tough one for us, especially because the Ravens might be fighting for the division at that point. But the Bengals game, that looks more and more winnable because they just lost to the Jets. And the Bucks game looks more and more winnable because, I mean, 2 weeks ago they did not look very good against the Lions. And then they sort of struggled a bit against the Saints, at least offensively. So that game looks winnable too now. So I'm pretty optimistic on the rest of the season. Overall, good performance from us. Again, 2 negatives are want to avoid the slow starts, and the special teams was not too good in this game. But positives, good adjustments. May played great outside of the first half where he was under pressure. Offense wasn't doing too good. They were moving the ball fairly well, but they only put up 9 points in the first half. Had that bad pick. Besides that, May was really solid this game per usual. Run game came alive. Henderson looked good. If I think I may have mentioned when I'm going over my list here the defensive adjustments after the first drive. So yeah, in a game like this where you win by multiple scores, there's obviously going to be more positives than negatives. Glad to see us have a good performance offensively against a top tier defense in the league. Again, statistically, I think the Browns have the top defense. So good to see us put together a good performance there. Put up over 30. Well, technically, the offense scored 30, then the safety obviously was 2. But I think we were going to score a touchdown if that unfortunate Henderson fumble didn't happen. But who knows? But yeah, as usual, optimistic after this performance. So I'm going to wrap this video up here and start recording my Week 8 recap video. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested. Then after that, I'm going to record my Thursday night game prediction. I mentioned Baltimore, Miami. Just as the Dolphins start heating up, they run into the Ravens, who, again, they're only 2-5, but they both only have 2 wins. But the Ravens, I think everyone's getting the sense that they're heating up. So bad draw for Miami, you can say. But anyway, I'll talk about that game more in that video. But as far as this video is concerned, I'll wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, go Pats, and take it easy, guys.